Hello grade 12 students and welcome to a new technical English 3 lesson. Our lesson today is Unit 7 Lesson 2 Part 1 Instance Part 1 Coursebook pages 54 and 55. Please open your books and let's start our lesson. Let's start as usual with the objectives of today's lesson. After studying this lesson, you will be able to discuss a case study about a security incident, read a product review to put illustrations in the correct order, locate specific information after reading a product review to answer 4 questions. Let's start with the starter of our lesson. Look at the picture and answer the questions. We have 3 questions here. In order to answer the 3 questions, you have to look at the pictures. Look at the picture carefully and try to find the answers to the questions here. Stop the video, try to find the answer, and when you finish, please play the video again to check your answer. Welcome back, my dear students. Now let's start answering the questions. The first question, what can you see in the suitcase? What can you see inside it? Good. Mobile phones, laptops, shoes, a pen, glasses, hair trimmer, and a cable. Can you see any suspicious thing? Anything that is dangerous or may cause harm to anybody? No, I can't. This is a general question. What things can't you put in your hand luggage or have on you when you go through a walk-through metal detector? What things? Good. Any metal or sharp objects. Great. Before we start our lesson, let's study some vocabulary which will help you to understand today's lesson. And let's start with the word alarm. What does alarm mean? Can you guess? Look at the picture. The picture might help you to understand the meaning of alarm. Alarm is a warning of danger, usually a loud noise or it may be flashing light. Good. Let's move to the next word. The next word is the word ignore. To ignore someone or to ignore something means to intentionally not listen or give attention to. The next word is the word remote. Remote means, can you see it? Remote means far away in distance, time, or relation, not close. Not close. Okay? Coil, as you see from the picture. Coil, a length of rope, hair, or wire, a series of circles, one above or outside the other. This is the shape, as you can see in the picture here, it's the shape of coil. Next, resistor, a part of an electrical circuit designed to produce a particular amount of resistance to the flow of current. Collapse. Collapse means to fall down suddenly because of pressure or having no strength or support. Reflect. Reflect. When you look at the mirror, you will find the reflection of yourself. To reflect, it means if a surface reflects light, heat, sound, or an image, it sends the light, etc., back and doesn't absorb it. Okay? interfere to prevent something from working correctly. Now please open your course book, page 54, exercise 1, start here. Your job is to read this case study quickly and discuss the question at the end. Make a note of your solution. I'm going to let you listen to the case study, and I want you to follow with your eyes and read carefully to find the answer to this question here at the end. How did the second official know that the knife was in the passenger's left shoe? Okay, are you ready to listen and to follow? Let's listen.
A passenger placed his bag onto the rollers of the X-ray machine. While his bag was going through the machine, he walked through the walk-through metal detector, WTMD, and the alarm sounded. The security official prepared to search him. While the passenger was passing through the WTMD, and while the alarm was still sounding, a second official was studying a screen on a display unit about 8 meters away. He shouted to the first official, and pointed at the passenger's left foot. The first official then told the passenger to take off his left shoe, and found a small knife inside.
Now let's check your answers. What is your answer? Can you read it aloud? Good. The answer of this question is in exercise 2. So please, let's move to exercise 2. Scan this product review quickly to check your solution to the question in exercise 1. You have to read again, okay? And I'm going to let you listen while you are reading. Let's listen.
The Detect 200 walk-through metal detector, WTMD, detects all metal objects, but ignores harmless ones. It has 8 separate detection zones. The detection zone shows the vertical location of the metal object, for example, half a meter above the ground, and the strength of the signal shows the horizontal location, for example, left leg or right leg. In other words, it can detect the exact location of the items on the passenger's body. The detector comes with a handheld remote display screen which can operate at a distance of up to 65 meters from the detector. The screen shows the shape of a human body, and displays a flashing light at the exact location of the metal object on the passenger's body. Technical data. The Detect 200 is based on the latest pulse induction technology. On one side of the WTMD, there are 8 separate coils of wire, each one at a different height. Short bursts of electric current are sent through each coil. Each pulse generates a magnetic field in the coil. If the magnetic field meets a metal object, such as a knife or gun, it produces an electrical current in the object, which acts as a resistor. This generates a magnetic field around the metal object. Meanwhile, as the magnetic field of the coil collapses, it creates a second, very short electric current, called the reflected pulse. The magnetic field from the metal object interferes with the magnetic field from the reflected pulse. This makes the reflected pulse take longer to disappear. The length of the reflected pulse is compared with the expected length. If the reflected pulse takes too long to die out, the signal is converted to a direct current, DC, voltage. The DC voltage increases as the metal object moves closer to the coil, and decreases as the object moves away from the coil. The voltage is amplified and controls an audio circuit, which becomes louder and higher in pitch as the metal object gets closer. The detector.
Now let's check the answer to the case study in exercise 1. Do you remember? The answer is, the metal detector has 8 separate electromagnetic coils, each one at a different height. This shows the height of the metal object. Then the strength of the signal shows the distance of the object from the coil. In the case study, the coil at ground level showed that the metal was a shoe, and the strength of the signal showed that it was the left shoe. Now please, let's move to page 55, exercise 3, read. Your job is to read the product review in detail in exercise 2 and put these illustrations in the correct sequence, okay, according to your understanding. You have 5 minutes to read and to put the illustrations in the correct sequence, and you can start now. Welcome back, my dear students. Now let's check your answer. What is the first illustration? Should be what? A, B, C, or D? Good. The first one should be A. From the picture, you can see that it should be number 1. The second one, or number 2, which one? B, C, or D? Great, it's D. D will be number 2. Number 3, is it B or C? Great, it's C, will be number 3. Finally, the last one will be number 4 will be B. Okay? Now please, let's move to exercise number 4. Your job is to find words in the text that mean the same as the following. Okay? Take your time, you have 5 minutes to read and try to find the words in the text. When you finish, please play the video again to check your answers. Now let's check your answers to exercise number 4. And let's start with number 1. Metal wires in a continuous circular or spiral shape. What do you think is that? What is that? It's a coil. Great. Number 2. Short burst of electricity. Short burst of electricity. Poles. 3. Area where force such as magnetism can be detected. Field. We call it field. Good. Number 4. A component that stops or slows down the flow of electric current. Resistor. Great. Number 5. Increased. Amplified. Amplified. Great. Now, let's move to exercise number 5. Answer these questions about the product review. If you need time, you can stop the video, read the questions, and write the answers in your notebook. When you finish, please play the video again to check your answers. You have 5 minutes to do the activity. When you finish, play the video again to check your answers. You can start now. Welcome back, my dear students. Now let's check your answers. Number 1. What process creates the magnetic field around the metal object, such as a knife? What do you think? The magnetic field from the coil produces a current in the metal object. This current creates the magnetic field. Number 2. What is the reflected pulse caused by? It is caused by the collapse of the magnetic field in the coil. Number 3. If there is a metal object, how does this affect the length of the reflected pulse? It increases the length of the reflected pulse. Great. Number 4. If the reflected pulse is longer than expected, what effect does this have on the volume of the alarm? It increases the volume. That is the end of our lesson. I hope you enjoyed our lesson today. Till we meet again in a new English lesson. Goodbye.